All right, so we're back here for part 2. Now actually, we only have a couple minutes left here. For number 10 and number 11, both of these are the same kind of problem. And out of all the problems on here, in terms of Algebra 1, this is what we will be doing the most often. When we get into slope, which you might remember from pre-algebra, and linear equations, y equals mx plus b, we always wanted to get it in the form of y equals. So if you have the x and the y on the same side, what we need to do is move some things, because the goal to solve for y, we need to get y equals. So the first thing we do is we're going to move the 2x. Now 2 times x is some value. It's a number. I don't know what that number is, but I can move that. That is a constant. So to move a positive 2x, I'm going to subtract it. Now you have to be careful because this is still a negative 3y. This minus goes with the next value, which is 3. So it's negative 3y equals. We can't subtract this because these are not like terms. So you can say 7 minus 2x. What I'm going to do is actually rewrite it. I'm going to put the negative 2x first, and then that's a positive 7. So most of the time, I'm actually going to skip that step right there. You don't need to do that. I'm just reading this as negative 2x and then plus 7. I'm writing it that way. Now the last move here, this is negative 3 times y. How do we undo multiplication? Well, we're going to divide. And in this case, I am going to break this up. I'm going to divide each piece by negative 3. And what we get here is y equals a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so that's actually 2/3 x. And then this, a positive divided by a negative, is minus 7/3. The reason I'm going to write it that way is that if you think back to pre-algebra, if you can get it in the form y equals mx plus b, the m is the number in front of x, the coefficient, that is telling you your slope. And the minus 7/3 here, the b value, is telling you your y-intercept. So if you're trying to graph that line, this is a really nice form to know. Now in number 11, same problem really. Solve it for y, solve for y. So let's move the 4x first. To move a positive 4x, we will subtract it from both sides. When I rewrite it, okay, the left side is 5y equals, I'll put the x first, that's negative 4x. That is a positive 20, so plus 20. Now the last move is to undo the multiplication, the coefficient. So I'm going to divide each piece by 5. And what we get is 1y equals, the fraction is negative 4/5. So I can put the x after the fraction, that's negative 4/5 x. It's not wrong if you say negative 4x over 5. But again, we're going to try to put this in this kind of format, y equals mx plus b, so that we can determine slope and y-intercept. So that's why I like this. Now 20 divided by 5 actually works out nicely. That reduces to 4. So that is just a plus 4. And that is the end of that problem, and that is also the end of the notes.